I'm asking about Trump and China's tariff war, and 1-bit LLM is answering now. It's working fine for inference with 2 cores running at 100%. LLM works fine on Raspberry Pi. Wow, this is pretty cool. This BitNet, which Microsoft recently updated, is an LLM that can be run with very little memory usage. The version released this time is a BitNet with 2 billion parameters. Commonly, floating point 16 or integer 8 were used for inference, but it can be considered an LLM with a certain level of performance even when using 1.58 bits. This model is called BitNet 1.58-2B40, and it's actually the first open source 1-bit large language model at the 2 billion parameter scale developed by Microsoft Research. It was trained on massive dataset, 4 trillion tokens. And what's really cool is that even though it only uses 1-bit precision, it performs just as well as full precision models of the same size. But the real advantage, it uses way less memory, much less energy, and has low latency, which makes it perfect for running AI on regular CPUs or even lower power devices. I believe this technical report shows the key information. As you go to the right, memory usage increases, and as you go up, benchmark performance increases. You can see that it has a similar performance to Qwen 1.5b but uses much less memory. We can also see that BitNet 2b uses less memory than Qwen 0.5b. On the right is BitNet 1.582b. It outperforms other models in memory, latency, and energy usage. Below are the benchmark results showing very similar performance. Very good. This is my Raspberry Pi device. I only have an HDMI monitor connected. I have not overclocked and I'm not using an active cooler. Just it has a heatsink attached to the top of the CPU. That's it. If this LLM requires really small memory as they claim, it should work well on Raspberry Pi 5, so I installed it locally on my Raspberry Pi 5 and tested it myself. After cloning the GitHub repository, I was able to install various things needed for the build and try it locally. The quantization type used the I2S kernel. It is the most compact model. For the BitNet 1.58-2B40, only I2S and TL1 are supported in ARM CPU. Actually, when you run BitNet, it's the same as any other LLM. The only difference is that you are running it on Raspberry Pi. It's not an Intel PC with NVIDIA graphic card, nor Apple M2 Ultra. It's just the Raspberry Pi. Okay, let me ask some questions. Can you summarize the plot of Inception in 3 sentences? Since the memory usage is so low, it doesn't use the GPU at all and does all the calculations on the CPU. You can check CPU and RAM usage on the top left side of the screen. Although there are a few bugs at the application level, it's working great. When you exit the program, you can check the performance summary, such as token generation time. As you know, Raspberry Pi is still a slow device compared to the normal PC environment. The speed of generating tokens per second is slow. Nevertheless, this is a huge leap forward. I think this is really important because the mobile phones or IoT devices we use have limited memory usage, so we cannot run general LLMs on device. If this really works as well as they claim, LLMs for on-device can be realized sooner. This will develop more and more, and I have no question that not only Microsoft but also Google and Apple will challenge on-device LLM a lot. Alright, that's all for today. I will let you know if there is a good topic.